Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our project presentation for our course Operating System Lab. Our course teacher is Miss Zakia Sultana. Our section is PCD group number 4. The topic for our project is setting up web server. Our group members are myself Anisuzzaman Shayak. My ID is 181151988. Ahsan Habib and Hadi Himel. First, let's get introduced to this topic. So the configuration we are going to use to set up our web server is LAMP stack. LAMP stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL and PHP. This is a combination of open source software that has been used by many other servers. Here, Linux works as the open source operating system that runs all the programs. Apache works as the server. MySQL works as the database, and PHP works as the scripting language to make our website more interactive. So why are we using LAMP stack? Because it is very flexible. All of the software used in this configuration are open source and regularly maintained, and we can easily expand the functionality of our configuration by adding various modules as per required. It is also very efficient because this configuration does most of our work for us. We don't need to worry too much about the server. We can focus on web development. This configuration can run various popular web applications such as WordPress and Drupal. So let's get started with setup process. Now I will show you how to set up the Apache server. Here we are in our Linux machine. This is running Linux Mint 20. But the setup process will be similar for any other Ubuntu based distributions. So first, let's make sure that our repository is up to date. For that, we will type in sudo apt update, hit enter. This will ask for our password. So our repository is now up to date. Now we can go ahead and install Apache web server. So we will type in sudo apt install. The package name is Apache 2. Hit enter. So this is asking that it will install 8 new packages we want to install, so we will hit Y and enter. Now the Apache web server is being installed. Okay, so installation is done. So now that our web server is installed, we need to make sure that the firewall will not block any incoming traffic so that our server can run without any restriction. So let's check what apps are currently blocked by the firewall. So we will do sudo ufw app list. This will ask for our password. Okay, so these are the applications that are currently blocked by the firewall. We need to make sure that Apache full is not blocked by the firewall. So let's check the status of this application. So we will write sudo ufw app info inside quotation mark Apache full. Hit enter. So this is showing that port 80 and port 443 is currently allowed. If these two ports are not allowed, then we need to type in another command. I will show you that. So we will type in sudo ufw allow in inside quotation mark Apache full. So this is showing that skipping adding existing rule because I already had the rule set up, so that's no problem. Now let's verify that our Apache server is correctly installed and working properly. For that we need our IP address. So let's find this PC's IP address. We will type in ifconfig, hit enter. Okay, so this is the device that is connected, so we need this IP address. I will copy this. Now let's open up our browser. Inside our browser I will type in http:// then I will paste in the IP address and hit enter. Okay, so this page shows up. That means our Apache server is working properly. It says it works. This is the default page for our Apache server. If this page shows up, That means our Apache server installation was successful and it is working properly. So now we can go ahead and install MySQL database. For that I am going to go to my next teammate Ahsan Habib. He will explain how to install MySQL. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you Anisuzzaman Shayak for completing the first part of our project. So let me introduce. My name is Ahsan Habib. My ID is 181151907. As we know that he has shown how to set up Apache server, now I am going to show how to install MySQL database in our Linux. So as our installation is done, it's time to install MySQL. MySQL is a database management system. Basically, it will organize and provide access to database where your site can store information. Now, if we see, if we start to install MySQL, let's go to our terminal. First, then we write sudo apt install MySQL server. Using this command, it will show, okay, we need password. Okay, after the password, it will show that we need 246 MB that will be installed. So we give yes command, and now we can see that it's installing. It will need some time. The packages are installing. Okay, it's completed now. So now let's clear the terminal. Okay, clearing the terminal. Now let's run the command sudo mysql secure installation. We have to give the secure for the securation. For giving secure, we have to give the password. Now we say okay, we are going for yes. For why? Now we can see that the password may be low, medium, or strong password. So for the practice reason, we are going for low, so we press 0, and we are giving our password like 12345, like something like that, and then re-enter the password again 12345. Now it's asking for yes or no, provide. Okay, of course we are going for yes. And then remove anonymous users. If we want to remove our users, anonymous users, for yes or no. Okay, I think I should go for no actually. Then disallow root logging remotely. Yes, we are going for yes. And then remove text database and access to it. So nope, we are not going to do that. Skipping. And reload privileged tables now. Yes, again, all done. Okay, now I have to give in a password that will need to connect to MySQL as root. We need to watch with authentication method. For this we run sudo mysql. Now checking the authentication method each of SQL users account with the following command. The command should be for database, like select user, comma, authentication underscore string, comma, plugin, okay, plugin, comma, host, and then from MySQL dot server. Okay, let's hit the run. Let's see what happened. Okay, we have done it successfully. In this we can see that the root user does in fact. Okay, let's zoom out and see what's the matter. Using the authentication plugin, now to configure the root account to authenticate with a password. Here we can see the root is with auth socket. Okay, the root is with plugin auth socket. We need it to convert it in native password. So again, zoom out, zoom in, and then now to configure the root account to authenticate with a password, run the following alter user command. So alter user single quote rwt root @ again single quote local host, and then with capital it will be identified with MySQL native MySQL underscore native underscore password by password under the single quote. Let's have a look if our command is okay or not. Okay, checking. Now let's hit. Okay, it says that our query is okay. Our query is okay, and then now run the flash privilege which tells the server to reload the grant tables and put the change into effect. So just flash privileges and we get the query is okay. Now checking the authentication method again by select user. The first time we have done this before. User authentication underscore string comma plugin comma host from MySQL.user. So let's see what's happened next. Okay, we have seen that from the before and the after. Okay, you can see that the root is now SQL native password. Okay, this is the main point. So this is the main point. Okay, this time the root plugin is MySQL native password, the password we have given before. Once this is confirmed that the root MySQL user now authenticates using a password, then we can exit out MySQL shell by just typing exit. Okay, that's a bye. And this is how MySQL installation process is done perfectly. Now our next teammate Hadi Himel will take the flow for rest of the project. Thank you. And once again, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Myself Abdul Hadi Himel. My ID is 181152080. So my part is setting up a PHP. So for setting up a PHP, I have to add or type something. So for firstly, I have to type sudo. Basically, I will add PHP in Linux. So I have to download it with some command line. So I type sudo apt install PHP. We want 3 packages. So PHP 1, leave Apache to mode 1, and then I have to type PHP dash MySQL. So after this I have to set my password, then it will started downloading. So but I have to comment it yes or no. If I press Y, then it will download it automatically. So here we see the PHP successfully downloaded. For configuration, we have to type sudo nano then etc, because we will add Apache 2 in it. So we have to write this command line for configuration of PHP. So in PHP or in Linux, there are many file or app like PHP. So for this command, I have to edit something. So there is, we see index HTML, but in before we have to type index.php. Then we find a letter index.php. We have to cut it, and this will be okay. So then I press Ctrl X and Y for yes. So now configuration is over. So here I have to configure it or check it that it will active running or not. So we see here this is active and running. So our PHP is okay. So then it's worked. So we have to go to next move. So there is the main configuration of it, that I will add PHP in my web server. So for this we have to type some command line, like we have to create directory for it. For directory we add mkdir. So I type this mkdir and we named a web server. So www mandatory, and I named a domain name like example.com. okay, then we successfully created a directory. Okay, so we have to change the ownership of our directory. So that's why we have to type some command line like sudo change own then domain name. Then we have to change mode of it. So usually we type a command line. So then we have to go to the GNU bar and check our HTML. So here we have to type some HTML code for our web server. So HTML head title, we give title welcome to my server, then some typing of it, operating system lab project. Then we back to we type Q and we back to our Linux terminal point. So we have to check that this site is available or not. So we write a command like sudo nano etc apache 2 sites available or not. So here we see some problem that directory of Apache is not found. For this we have to change directory first. So we change directory with some command. Then we got two files, so default.conf1 and default.ssl conf1. So we copied first file, then we write some command sudo cp, then we paste it and our domain name conf. So then we can edit GNU nano area. So here we have to type some virtual hosting. So there we virtual host 80, then server admin webmaster, then server name example.com we set up before, server alive www.example.com full website address, then document root, error log and many things, customer log type many things, and that then virtual host is over. So then we have to check it that it is available or not. Sudo a2 we check it that it is enabled. So it is successfully enabled. Then we have to add that our command is found or not. So see, this is successfully disabled. Which file is cause for our change directory. So this is disabled. So we have to check our server that it is okay or not. So there we see the syntax is okay. So then we have to restart our Apache and we have to go to our main page. So then what I named my web server is www.example.com. So I type example.com and here we see HTML form. So there is success, our server is now live, operating system lab project. So successfully we run our project. Thank you ma'am, my name is Hadi Himel, my ID is 18152080. So thank you ma'am for getting us this amazing project that we can learn something. Thank you so much ma'am. Assalamu alaikum.